The Mavs are the team no one wants to face in the playoffs. They're playing elite basketball on both ends thanks to smart roster moves and individual star power. Let's break it down. Before we start, consider becoming a part of the community by subscribing to the channel where we dissect the hottest NBA topics with cutting-edge analytics. Let's start with the obvious thing. Luka is a historic talent who is playing the best basketball in his career. He's a top 3 MVP candidate who has already shown in previous years that he alone will give opponents major issues in a 7-game series. For the Mavs this year, Doncic is the point guard version of Nikola Jokic. His hands are on every play. Points, assists, rebounds, unreal court awareness, physically overpowering, all of it. The case has already been made numerous times about how good Luka is. But what makes his MVP case different is not necessarily that he's a better player, or else LeBron would have won quite a few more in his career, but a combination of producing outrageous numbers, his team looking great as a result, and the fact that he carries a significantly heavier load than his competitors. This season, Nikola Jokic, for example, averaged 34.7 minutes to go with a 29.5% usage rate. Luka, on the other hand, played 37.5 minutes with a league-leading 36% usage rate. In the playoffs, where starter minutes increase and rotations shorten, individual play and one-on-one matchups become incredibly important. And Luka absolutely dominated in those categories. While leading the league in usage rate, he also led in scoring, showing the ability to carry the offense almost entirely by himself. Luka was assisted on just 22% of his own shots, the lowest in the entire league, and assisted on 44% of his team's made buckets. With that game plan, where Luka essentially does everything, the Mavericks were 8th in offensive rating, 6th in effective field goal percentage, and 5th in turnover percentage. This is all to say that it's not a case of star stat padding like Russell Westbrook in 2016. The Mavs are actually successful and efficient as a result of Luka's play. Opposing teams, of course, threw their best defenders at him all season, but rarely did that impact his efficiency. Doncic had a career-best true shooting percentage, highlighted by a 38% three-point clip on a staggering 11 attempts per game. When the inevitable double team shows up, Luka will pick apart the defense with elite court awareness and passing. Teams are going to have a tough time figuring out Luka, and luckily for the Mavs this year, that won't be their only strength. Let's talk about the defense. The Luka Mavs have never been known for it. But with the roster moves this year, the front office completely nailed that end. Let's start with Derrick Jones Jr., an athletic wing who is tasked with guarding opponents' best perimeter player. He has been absolutely locked down post All-Star break. Because get this, post All-Star in 26 games, opponents shot 7% worse from 3 and 13% worse within 10 feet when guarded by him. Let's look at the guys he might face in the playoffs and how they did against him in the regular season. Stephen Curry, 5 for 22. Anthony Edwards, 8 for 26. De'Aaron Fox, 6 for 18. Jamal Murray, 4 for 13. Then there is Derek Lively, a rookie who has proven to already be a capable rim protector. His high energy and athleticism has led him to some great plays in the year. But being a rookie and the only reliable rim protector, the Mavs needed more. Luckily, Daniel Gafford and PJ Washington were secured at the trade deadline to be inserted into the starting lineup, and the difference has been astounding. Post-trade deadline, the Mavs jumped 15 spots to 7th in defensive rating, 19 spots to get 7th in defensive rebounding, 18 spots to 3rd in opponents' field goal percentage, but most importantly, they went from last in opponents' field goal percentage at the rim to 1st in the whole league. Size is more important than ever in the league, and with less small ball and more star bigs rising, the Mavericks put together a group of multiple guys to throw at opposing centers like Anthony Davis or Nikola Jokic. Finally, let's talk about Kyrie Irving. The Kyrie trade looked like a desperate move to get some kind of co-star next to Luka. The Mavs front office gave everything they had left, which wasn't much, to get him. With no off-court concerns, the full focus is on Irving's production and has been awesome. He's again showing why so many consider him to be one of the most skilled players of all time. When he doesn't have the ball, Kyrie is a lethal outside threat, knocking down 42% of his catch and shoot threes. But really, he's a great complement to Luka as a secondary shot creator. Not many teams have elite perimeter defenders to guard Luka, much less a second one to handle Kyrie. And possibly, more importantly, Kyrie's presence allows the Mavs to rest Luka and not worry about the offense stagnating. We saw a similar version of that with a yet to fully break out Jalen Brunson a couple years back. The results were great as Brunson performed well, but with a true superstar in Kyrie manning that role, we should see the Mavs' high-scoring offense continue to roll teams. Irving brings championship experience to this team. He's familiar with tough series and scenarios with a plethora of big performances and clutch moments in the playoffs. When playoff basketball begins, games slow down, things get chippy, and defense is more important than ever. With Luka and Kyrie scoring and a high-performing defensive cast behind them, what more could the Mavs possibly want right now? Don't forget to subscribe.